I was 14. It was an average night around 9 p.m. Me and my little cousin were at his house. I'm babysitting for the night while my mom and aunt are shopping and my dad and uncle are at the movie theater. So we're sitting there and I was feeling really strange. Something was wrong, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I just kept watching TV with my cousin. The feeling wasn't going away, so I got up and walked on the back door to lock it. And when I came back through the kitchen, I saw what was causing my weird feeling. In the window, there was a very scary looking homeless man just staring into my window, looking at my cousin. Protective mode turned on. I pretended like I didn't see the guy, and I told my little cousin that we needed to go upstairs because our parents would be home soon and they wouldn't want him to be staying up late. So I went upstairs and put him to bed, knowing damn well that there was a man outside that wanted in. I was about 125 pounds and 5'8" at the time. I played football for my school. If I remember correctly, I went downstairs and straight into the kitchen and grabbed one of those meat tenderizing hammers, turned back to the window where I saw him before, not there, ran back up to the front door and checked that it was locked. Both the deadbolt and the knob were locked. Ran back upstairs with my meat tenderizer and went into my cousin's room and sat down in front of the door. He asked me what I was doing, and I said that he didn't need to worry about it and that he should keep his head low. I called the cops, and then my dad and uncle would take half an hour, and my dad and uncle were 45 minutes away. Then I hear a window shatter and the sound of heavy boots walking around on the main floor. I told my cousin to stay calm, hide under the covers, and to keep silent. I could hear the guy walking around downstairs. It was horrifying. I gripped the damn meat tenderizer and waited. About 5 minutes passed, and then I hear the boots walking upstairs. At this point, I was having a freaking heart attack. My cousin's door is no more than 10 feet from the stairs. I heard him opening the doors to my aunt and uncle's room, then the bathroom. He walked back downstairs, and I heard him open the door to the basement. 15 minutes later, the police showed up and burst into the house. Turned out the guy was loose from a mental hospital 1 province away. This story is by Killer Angel 194. I was in a heavily haunted house. It was a large house and I had 9 roommates, so there was always the sound of people walking around on different levels, opening and closing doors and talking. It wasn't until I was alone in the house for the first time that I noticed you could hear walking around, opening and closing doors, and talking even, when there was no one there. I went down to the basement to play the piano and had a very strong feeling of someone telling me to F off. For someone who has never experienced this, just imagine you're in a room with someone who is angry and is screaming and throwing things at the walls. Then just subtract the sound and images, the feeling is the same. I thought I should say something out loud. So I said, "I'm sorry I bothered you. I'll leave now because I have some respect as a roommate." It was then I said the word roommate that the feeling stopped and things got very calm. I went back upstairs to my room feeling very shaky. Maybe I should mention this was probably around 2 or 3 a.m. So getting out of the house and going somewhere wasn't really an option. I was sitting in my bed for 20 minutes when I saw something on my wall. The best way to describe it would to be say that it wasn't visible per se, but looked like when the predator in Predator has its invisibility turned on. It was shaped like a 3-foot long salamander. It crawled down my wall and up onto my bed and then disappeared. This story is by Funky Grandma. I was chilling in my friend's apartment alone. We lived in a duplex. He was on the top floor and I was on the bottom. I was playing some Xbox when I hear something huge coming through the front door into the kitchen. So I got up to see who was there. We threw huge parties all the time, so I wasn't really that odd for some random to just show up. But then I saw this guy, a huge, hulking country boy in overalls with a huge weapon, just looking at me, standing in the kitchen. I might have said something, but I promptly noped out of a side door, ran into my apartment, and locked all the doors. I don't remember who I called exactly, what happened, but I know I waited until I couldn't hear anyone moving around upstairs anymore, and crept back in. Big guy was passed out on the couch. Turns out he was on parole for domestic abuse charges. He had gotten super sauced downtown and made it to the apartment where he used to live, where I, a little 18-year-old, was just playing some video games, having fun. As a kid, I didn't want to go to a funeral of a close family friend. I stayed home and my parents were upset. Playing GTA 4 when I heard knocking at the door. Not thinking much about it, I go and open the door and no one's there, so I go back to playing. After 20 minutes, I hear a louder, more desperate knock that one alarmed me and made me jump. I look out the window to see if anything, but nothing. I then open up the door to get a better look, and I see no one but an all-black German Shepherd staring at me from the other side of the fence. It trips me out, but nothing scares me. I go back to GTA 4, and after 10 minutes, I hear banging and kicking at the door. That made me jump up, and I go to my parents' room to grab my dad's weapon. I then go back to the window, and the German Shepherd is on my side of the fence, now in front of my door, just staring at it. I never stayed home alone as a kid ever again. Grown up now, I brought up this story to my dad, and he started cackling. He told his friend to do that to me. I was upset at first because it traumatized me. This story is by Slowdown Turbo. Good to know that it was just a prank and nothing dangerous happened to him.